All right, what's up, guys? My name is Martin Aquino, and I want to welcome you to another video. I made a poll on my Instagram account where I asked you guys what topic you wanted me to talk about, and the options were personal fitness, personal development, marketing, or business, and you guys chose personal development. So today's topic is going to be critical thinking. Now, why would critical thinking matter? Well, it's 2019, and with all the social media platforms that are available, we are constantly being influenced by friends, family, those we follow online, and even those we don't follow, those internet trolls that go on our account and try to just lower our self-esteem. And we're not gonna let that happen because we're not weak, all right, guys? We are gonna be on the offense this year, not on the defense. So anyhow, let's move forward, guys, and get to the topic, critical thinking. Here it is, guys. You have to be able to think for yourself, okay? It's always great to listen to others, but once you've listened to other people's opinion, you have to make a final decision for yourself, okay? Because at the end of the day, it's your life, and you need to be the one making the decisions because only you know what's best for you. Only you know what are your full capabilities. And let me tell you something. There's no limits. We can go very far. So let's get to it because I want to make sure that you guys get this. And for those of you that stick till the end, I'm going to give you guys the link to get this. And if you follow me or you're on my newsletter, you'll be getting these PDA files so you can go over them yourself, apply them into your life. If not, rewatch this video and tell your friends, guys. So here we go. Critical thinking, thinking for yourself. All right, well, let's begin with, do we have to be smart to be good critical thinkers? All right. Does that mean that it matters being intelligent or not? Well, let's answer that question first. What is intelligence? Well, here, intelligence is defined by how much we know, but more importantly, by what we do. It's how and what we do with the information that we acquire, guys, all right? If you look it up, it's actually defined as, it means the ability to acquire and apply knowledge and skills, okay? So it doesn't matter how much you know, because if you're not actually taking action and utilizing and putting that information to work, it might as well be a book on a shelf, all right? So let's move forward, guys. And the more that you invest in developing your full potentials, the more intelligent you become. Imagine that, all right? There's actually limitless amount of potential inside of you, okay? And regardless of where you think you are today, whether you think you're smart, whether you think you're not smart, you can be smarter. You can get the information that you need to get, learn how to apply that information, put it to action to work for your life. And that is what we're gonna do here today. And it's funny enough, before I move forward and start with the topic, did you know that Albert Einstein had a teacher who once told him that he would never become nothing? He showed him, huh? Well, if there's hope for Einstein, there's hope for you and I, my friend. All right, well, thinking is a purposeful mental activity, all right? You control it, not the other way around, so don't get it twisted, okay? Thinking, for the most part, is a conscious activity, but the unconscious mind can continue working on a problem even after you have consciously stopped thinking about it. Which means that, let's say you're having a writer's block, all right? You can't seem to get the thing that you're looking for right now in your mind. Well, a good tactic would be to back away from it for a little bit, you know, go maybe take a walk and allow yourself to just not maybe focus hard on it, and it will probably most likely come up. It'll be that idea that you're, oh, that's it, that's exactly what I was looking for, and it'll just pop up in your mind. So again, what I want to do for you guys is, you know, break down critical thinking into its three main dimensions, okay? So that you guys can really understand what it entails, okay? So here we go. The three broad dimensions of thinking is, first it's going to be the reflective, then it's going to be the creative, and then it's going to be the critical aspect of it, all right? So I want to go ahead and break each one down for you guys. So here we go. Reflective, right? The reflective dimension, right? It sorts through experiences and it identifies challenges. Okay, so again, it goes back to, you know, what maybe you have witnessed in the past, maybe something you have read in the book, maybe a conversation you had with someone. You know, it goes back and, you know, through kind of like your memory archive, and also anything that you may have heard. It just comes up and It actually, lets you know where you stand with that issue or that topic at the moment. And then second, there's your creative. Your creative, which produces relevant ideas for meeting those challenges, okay? The creative part, as you can imagine, right, specific word, it actually is the part where your creative part comes into it, okay? So you're using your intuitiveness, you're actually here, just creating things in your mind, looking for possible solutions to all the questions that you have hopefully wrote down and put on a list for you to actually answer. And then what happens in this section, right, is that you start looking for ways to find out that information, and you start gathering all the information that you have, all right, which that way allows you to review all of them, sort through them, and see which ones are the ones you probably are needing for the at the moment, the issue or problem, or again, how to move forward with that, okay? So the critical, which is the third part, this element here, it evaluates the ideas and decides which is best, okay? So the term critical thinking is often used to refer to them collectively, all right? Obviously, the critical aspect of it is the portion where you assess all the information that you've collected, that you've gathered, you've narrowed down at this point, maybe the one or two possible solutions, and then you start applying and see which one works, all right, guys? So hopefully that broke down thinking to you. Remember, there's three parts to thinking. That's the reflective, that's the creative, and then the critical thinking, which critical thinking refers to all of them collectively. All right, guys? All right, a little tip here. Did you know that according to psychologist Albert Ellis, people can live the most self-fulfilling, creative, and emotional satisfying life by intelligently organizing and disciplining their thinking? What does that mean? That if you find structure in your life, maybe it's having a planner where you're writing down the things that you're doing every single day. Now you kind of put yourself in a position to see where you could be more efficient, where you're spending too much time in certain times of your day, or where you could be actually focusing more, spending more of your time in that area. So being organized, intelligently thinking, outside the box, having that overview look before going in and narrowing down exactly what you want to do will actually save you a lot of time. And it's something that you want to start applying immediately. All right, guys, so believing something doesn't make it so. Can you believe that we used to think the world was flat? And sad thing is, I think some people still do. Listen, the thousands of thoughts that are constantly flowing through our minds affect our life drastically, all right? They influence our belief and our behavior, for better or for worse, whether you think so or not, all right? When you listen to someone's opinion, when you're watching, let's say, the news, for instance, maybe you're watching the terrific news that you've just heard, and what you may not know is that unconsciously it affects you in a certain way where you find yourself maybe a little bit moody in the next instances of your life because of something that you saw that was terrifying. It made you feel bad, it made you feel guilty, maybe it made you feel how fortunate you are. So maybe you're maybe having the opposite effect of feeling negative. Maybe you're feeling positive and blessed and grateful. So there are certain things that affect us that even though you're not thinking about it purposely, unconsciously it takes a toll on our life. So be very careful with that, and that's a quick tip for you guys, all right? And remember, feeling is no substitute for thinking, all right? Consider a time when you said you do something and did not follow through. All right, listen, guys, I'm guilty of this myself. I said, all right, well, listen, I'm gonna start going to the gym at this time every single day, Monday through Friday. And maybe I do go Monday through Friday, but I don't go at the same time that I said. Maybe, I end up going at night, so then it messes up what I had planned, the agenda that I had organized for my whole day. Sticking to your plan and sticking to what you say you were going to do is very crucial, right? Because again, you're depending more on that discipline more than on that feeling, which can come and go as it pleases, okay? So not beneficial for you if you've got a deadline on any of your goals. All right, guys, let's keep it moving forward. Now, how do I build these skills, right? How do I teach myself this, right? Because I know the schools are not teaching this, and that's the problem. I had to go and teach these things myself. I had to learn these things myself, and luckily, I actually came across this information when I tried going back to school, only to realize that that probably wasn't the best move for me. And here we are, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and start teaching you guys the lessons that I've taken from that book. And I'll give you guys the resource later on if you guys want to actually read it yourself. It's definitely valuable, and as you can see, a lot of insight that you could use in your either personal or business life. So what are the key habits and skills of thinking? All right, guys, be like a child, all right, full of curiosity, always asking questions, all right? Don't accept things for as they are. You know, you have to kind of push the envelope. You have to, you know, put yourself in a position where you're questioning everything. You're allowing your curiosity to run wild. It's like a kid, you know, when they were young, but why this, but why that, and why this? And you're like, well, stop asking so many questions. No, that's actually good, guys. That actually is where you start igniting something in your brain where it's just going to automatically start thinking faster. It's going to pull up information faster. You're going to be, you know, rapidly getting things done, and that's exactly what we want to shoot for. But how do we do that? Well, you start by becoming more observant. Just more observant, more aware, all right? Become more aware of your surroundings and what people are saying. Ask more questions, and when possible, seek answers to them, okay? It's not good enough to just ask questions. You know, if someone doesn't have the answers to the questions that you are looking for, then, you know, hey, go on Google, grab a book, go to the library, ask a friend, go online, do whatever you have to do to get the information before you even ask people. Maybe try yourself. Hey, Google is the first thing you should be testing, all right? The information is out there. Someone's either written a blog about it, made a video about it, like the one we're making here. So it's very important that you're also able to be resourceful, right? Being able to get information for yourself. That way you start getting ahead and not needing other people to accomplish things in your life, okay? Now, it's very important that you learn to separate facts from opinion, because a lot of times opinions are stated as facts, and you have to be able to distinct them apart. You have to be able to, you know when they're being used, because they could either work against you if you don't know when it's being used, and if the person is utilizing it purposely to deceive you. Okay, so how do you do this? How do you start being a better critical thinker? What are the questions that you ask? How do you get the answers? Well, we're gonna get to that right now. Dealing with challenges, all right? There's the WISE approach, okay, to thinking, which incorporates all three aspects of critical thinking, which is what again? Reflective, creative, and critical thinking, all right? And now, this approach consists of 4 steps, all right? It's called the WISE approach, all right? Which it stands for W, the WISE, for wonder, I for investigate, S for speculate, and E for evaluate. All right, I'm going to break each one of them down for you now. All right, so wonder, that's the first step of the WISE approach, okay? And what you want to do in the wonder step is, this step entails reflecting on your own experiences and observation and identifying the challenges, okay? This step is usually ongoing as well. You're always thinking about wondering what could I've done, what could you do differently, how can it be better? Okay, so it's usually a problem or an issue that you are trying to solve, and they are both different, okay? Usually a problem can definitely have a solution. Usually with issues, you just actually come down to a resolution where there's no win or loss, okay? So you have to be aware of those two entities itself. There's a problem and an issue, and those are two very different things. All right, now we just went through wonder, right? Which is when you're reflecting on your own experiences before you've actually gone out and done any kind of research. All right, the second step is investigate. This is where the research part comes in. All right, this is the step that consists of gaining information about the challenge by wondering, okay? By gaining information and doing research, and the kind of research that you want to find are anecdotes, okay? Witness testimonies, lab research, field experiments, statistics, studies, surveys, and opinion polls. You want to collect as much information as you can so that you can make the best possible, come to the best possible answer, solution that you're looking for, okay? So that's investigate. So the third step is speculate. All right, this step consists of identifying possible solutions and problems and possible resolutions of issues, okay? And you do this by by asking a set of how can questions. And here I recommend using verbs, okay? Verbs are gonna help you actually get to the answer. So you would use a verb in this manner. with the how can set of question, right? So it would go something like this: how can I repair this quickest? How can I enhance this product? How can I eliminate the waste in town? How can I combine all the best aspects of this device? You know, using verbs will actually help you identify and be a lot more specific and getting those answers that you're looking to those questions, okay? And now step 4, which is the last step to the WISE approach, is evaluate, test the possible solutions and decide which one is most worthy, okay? You've narrowed down the 1 or 2 best solutions or resolutions, and you're gonna go with the one that you think has the best probabilities of giving you the result that you're looking for, okay? So the WISE approach is gonna be a great tool to help you use your critical thinking, and breaking down the 3 steps as well down to critical thinking, which is the reflective, the creative, and the critical aspect of it, and that equation, okay? So first you start with the WISE, which is you wanna wonder, you start thinking about the stuff in your own life, the stuff that you know, that you've gone through. And then there's the investigate, and that's where you're gaining all the information that you can from research. And then there's obviously the speculate, where you're actually narrowing down the information, you're identifying which one is the best one. And lastly, evaluate, where you're gonna pick the 1 or 2 that you think is gonna give you the best results. Okay, guys, so that's the WISE approach. Use that anytime that you guys actually are in debates. You know, if you're going having a debacle about what's right and what's wrong, or what should be done in this situation, or what could be done better about something that maybe it's in place currently. So in a way to actually help you more with that, and what are the things that you should be looking for when coming up with solutions or resolutions, what would be great answers to those questions? Well, I'm going to help you break that down here, right? There's a comprehensive list of criteria helpful in finding solutions to your problems, okay? Now, the next few things are going to help you determine that. And the first thing, you know, what makes a good solution a good solution? Well, think about comprehensiveness, okay? Which of these solutions solve the entire problem, and if not, will it solve most of it? All right, that's comprehensiveness. The second thing you can look for is longevity. Which one of these solutions will last the longest? Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, think about practicality. All right, which solution is most workable? All right, which is the simplest or the least confusing? Then a 4th one here, safety. Which solution is the safest? Then 6, efficiency. Which solution requires the least time and effort? All right. Then there's economy. Which solution costs the least? Both initial cost and continuity cost. Then there's comparability. All right. Which solution is most compatible with existing approaches and procedures or processes? And then there's appearance. Are the aesthetics good? Does it look good? Is it eye appealing, eye candy? Then there's the morale. Which solution will have the most positive impact or the most negative? Which is very good to know. And those are great criteria to decide on which will help you decide what solutions are best to go with when you need to take action and make a decision. Okay, remember guys, leaders need to be able to make effective decisions at, minimum of time, at an instant. And a lot of times you want to be able to go back through all your experiences and in order to give the best answer possible to get the best results in any circumstances that you may be in. All right, guys, so listen, something else to be aware of when you are thinking coming up with solutions and answers to your questions is, watch out for those biases that we all have. Okay, it's very natural to be biased against things that we like, things that's familiar, that we're associated with. We're also biased towards things that we like and that we dislike, right? Maybe I don't like vegetables, so if someone approached me about getting into business about vegetable and I decline it, I put it down because I never knew anything about it, I don't like it, well, I may be missing out on something big here because of my bias against vegetables. And that's a dumb example, guys, but that's just an example nonetheless, right? So watch out for your biases. Remember, it can, biases towards what confirms your personal view, biases towards familiar ideas, and biases towards likes and dislikes that you may have, okay? Now, what can you do to help you be a critical thinker, come with better solutions, and keeping all these things in mind? Well, 4 steps, right? 4 things you could do, and they're really more about empowering attitudes, right? And the first empowering attitude would be, there's always room for improvement, right? We don't know it all. Remember, someone always knows more than us, okay? We aren't know-it-alls, and for anyone that knows enough knows that, like, what is that Socrates quote? The more I know, the more I know, the less I know. I forget how that quote actually goes. That ended up terribly, but you get my idea, right? Anyway, so the first one is, there's always room for improvement, guys. Put yourselves out there. Don't be afraid to be uncomfortable. Get through the uncomfortable stage, and I'm telling you, on the other side is nothing but rewards. Now, the number 2 empowering attitude would be, criticism, including self-criticism, has value. Hey, constructive criticism is good. It's always good to ask other people what they thought. It's a grain of take it with a grain of salt, okay? Don't take it, you ask someone how your outfit looks and they say they don't like your outfit, don't get upset if they don't like it. It's okay, right? It's your taste. That's why, the colors were made, so that we all can pick a color or a taste or a flavor. And then number 3, most empowering attitude is going to be, effort is the key to your success, okay? It's not, again, about who's the smartest or who knows more. It's really about who's the hardest worker. So effort is a big component here, okay? You have to care to ask questions. You have to care to be curious. You have to care to dig deep and get the answers, and not just the first thing that pops up in your head, all right? And the 4th most empowering attitude that you could have is to know that other people are as important as you are, okay? Let's not be pessimistic here, or about ourselves as well, where it's me against the world. It's not you against the world, okay? Now, how do you spot when someone is using this on you? How do you recognize, let's say, manipulation, okay? Well, there are 4 things I'm going to talk about here in this recognizing manipulation section, okay? Is that the first one is dishonest appeals to emotion. What is that? We react to language not only with our intellect, but with our emotion. And some words evoke emotions more than others. So, for example, politicians all the time will use certain words like, it's hurting the democracy, it's hurting. That word itself, right? It's just, it almost translates agony. And again, it causes an emotion inside us that is displeasing. Therefore, it's getting a negative reaction to what we're hearing. So people can use certain words to cause a certain emotion in you, and you have to watch out for those things. Number 2, stacking the deck. 2 or more against 1, or the choosing of a guest of unequal status and ability. What does that mean? Well, it's having 3 people against 1 and saying, well, there's 3 of us and only 1 of you, so you have to do what the 3 of us wants to do. Well, why don't I just do what I want to do, since I'm the only one, and you guys do what you want to do? All right, we don't all have to follow in line like sheeps, guys, okay? Do your own thing, make your own path, and those that want to follow. If not, you got to do what's right for you. This is why critical thinking is very important. It's not about following the crowd. It's about doing what's best for you and your family, okay? So again, the 3rd thing is suppressing dissent. This creates the impression that there is no opposing view. That's just the omitting of information, okay? So again, maybe if you heard that in the news that they were doing great things in Venezuela right now, for example. Let's say, right, Venezuela's in turmoil right now under a dictatorship, right? But let's say that the news was conveying that they were having, you know, great, you know, the best of time. Then nothing could be going wrong in Venezuela, when in reality the people are probably going hungry like they are right now, and just, you know, the complete opposite. You know, it's making something appear as if they were when it's really not. Okay, so watch out for that one. And the last part here to look out for in the form of manipulation is repetition. All right, the most effective and simplest technique of manipulation is simple: repetition. Okay, the more familiar an idea, the more people tend to believe it, the more we're gonna think it's true and then think that it's right and it's the one way to go. But again, watch out for that. Do your research. Always question everything. Be curious. Ask questions and look and seek answers when you can. All right, guys, we're moving down the slides. Remember, don't be a victim of manipulation. All right, and the ways that you're going to do that is by being prepared. You're going to ask questions. You're going to be imaginative, and you're going to check sources. Okay, guys, that's the best advice that I can give you on resisting manipulation, is that be prepared, ask questions, be imaginative, and check resources. All right, guys, well, we've come down to the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. You guys asked for personal development, and I thought this was very crucial for anyone out there in today's world to know. And that, you know, helped me tremendously when I went to, you know, when I attempted going back to college the second time, and I met, you know, my professor at the time, Professor Brown, who actually recommended this book, and it changed my life and actually made me realize that I actually needed to take a step back, leave college, because it wasn't the right thing for me. And here we are today, guys. So hopefully you like this. What I'm gonna do is provide the link to the slide so that you guys can actually utilize it yourself, and feel free to share with your friends. And if you like this video, make sure to like it, comment any of your thoughts, if something you want to see in the future, maybe the next topic that you want me to cover, and it'd be my pleasure. So till next time, guys, thank you so much. And again, this is Marlon Aquino, and till next time, peace out.